Roman, who is my deputy. He will be joining us in a minute. So let's start. Please.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first India-Czech Republic Youth Dialogue 2019, hosted by the Embassy of Czech Republic and Confederation of Young Leaders. Confederation of Young Leaders has been a pioneer in organizing national and international congresses to unleash India's soft power potential. CYL has successfully led track to diplomatic dialogue between foreign missions and young people in India, and is distinguished to be the only youth organization working in this field. The Youth Dialogue series has drawn wide attention from the political and academic circles of India, including from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. We are honored to have with us in this evening the Ambassador of Czech Republic, His Excellency Mr. Milan Hovorka, Deputy Head of Mission Mr. Roman Masaryk, First Secretary Mr. Milan Taras, Third Secretary Mrs. Eva Kemilikova, Chairman of the Confederation of Young Leaders Mr. Himadrit Sivan, President of the Confederation of Young Leaders Mr. Samir Shastri. Mr. Shastri is also the grandson of the former Prime Minister of India, Bharat Ratna, Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri, and Mr. Van Saluja, the CEO. The participants of today's dialogue include delegates from premier institutions and organizations across India, scholars, and the diplomats of the Czech Republic. Thank you all of you for joining us. First of all, let's invite Mr. Van Saluja, CEO of the Confederation of Young Leaders, to deliver the welcome address. I welcome you, sir.
First of all, on behalf of the Confederation of Young Leaders, I would like to extend a grateful thanks to His Excellency Mr. Milan Hovorka for hosting us today. I would like to also extend a grateful thanks to the diplomats from the Czech Embassy, and a very warm welcome to all the young delegates here from all parts of India. Before we start the evening and before we have His Excellency deliver his keynote address along with the diplomats from the Czech Embassy, I would just like to briefly share about the whole concept of youth dialogues and why we organize such youth dialogues with various high commissions and embassies stationed here in India. The reason why we have such dialogues is because India is assuming a global importance when it comes to shaping foreign policy, and it is very important that future leaders, like the one sitting here in this room, take responsibility and understand how the future relations should be between India and various foreign countries. This is one of the primary motives why we have these youth dialogues, and again I would like to extend a very grateful thanks to His Excellency for hosting all the young delegates who have come from different parts of the country today, and I hope that we have a very fruitful discussion ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Saluja. As a mark of our love and commitment, I would like to invite the Chairman of the Confederation of Young Leaders, Mr. Himadrit Sivan, and President, Mr. Samir Shastri, to felicitate the Ambassador of Czech Republic, His Excellency Mr. Milan Hovorka, with small token of our love and appreciation. I request Mr. Prabhu to please bring the memento.
I'm asking whether I can open it now. for being opened. Thank you.
The National Express, heading the India main actually, Confederation of
Mm-hmm.
two-step coverage.
Excellent.
And have a picture with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suban and Mr. Shastri. Now is the time for the introduction of delegates. Delegates, please introduce yourself one by one, starting from back, from right end. That is your name and the institution, or your profession.
Where we are starting?
Please,
Give the mic.
Nice meeting you, Milan Hovorka. Excellent, Milan Hovorka. Excellent, Milan Hovorka. Look at me. Milan Hovorka. Excellent, Milan Hovorka. Nice meeting you. Milan Hovorka, nice meeting you. Then others of course can hear your name as well.
Yeah, Ravi Singh from Delhi University.
Nice meeting you, Delhi University. We do have a nice program there. Nice meeting you, New Delhi University. Milan Hovorka, nice meeting you. Milan Hovorka. Mom. Oh, so well, University of Delhi is well represented here this evening. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Good evening, Milan Hovorka.
I am Jyotika and I am working as professor in the North Cap University, Gurgaon.
Nice meeting you. So
I
good.
am Bani and I am from Bharatiya Vidyapith College of Engineering.
Nice meeting you, Milan
Myself
Hovorka.
Arjun and I am from CY.
Nice meeting you, Milan Hovorka.
Hi, my name is Bipin. I am an entrepreneur investor.
Nice meeting you. Oh, well, so finally business is with us. Important.
Hello, sir. I am Gupta. I'm into finance.
Milan Hovorka, good evening.
Your Excellency, I'm Faraz Khan. I'm an advocate working in Delhi High Court and Supreme Court.
Excellent, Milan Hovorka, nice meeting you.
My name is Raj. I work in Bank of India as a bank consultant.
Times of India, Milan Hovorka, good evening.
My name is Rahil Khan. I'm from Tata Stores.
Tata Truck. Okay, Milan Hovorka, good evening.
I'm Devanshu Jha. I'm a student and I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm making a device for those who are not able to.
Student running already his own business. Very good. Nice meeting you. Ma'am. Nice meeting you, madam.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Arvind Goel and I'm from MIT University.
Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you again, there at university. Good.
Working as a young professional in ministry.
Nice meeting you. Ministry?
Women in career.
Oh, excellent. Nice meeting you.
I'm Mauritius. I'm an architect.
Milan Hovorka, architect. Nice meeting you. Milan Hovorka. Nice meeting you. Good evening, Milan Hovorka. In the meantime, eventually colleagues of mine can entertain you.
I'm Miraksha.
You, Milan Hovorka. Nice meeting you, Milan Hovorka. Nice meeting you. Oh, well, there you are also well represented the entire angle here, I feel. Nice meeting you. Sir,
Hi sir, I'm Rajesh Ranjan. I just graduated from IIM Calcutta.
congratulations. Kolkata West Bengal is represented as well.
Hello sir, Delhi University at Atlanta.
Milan Hovorka, good evening.
Aditya Pandey University of Delhi.
Oh, excellent. Good evening.
My name is Sohan, Jawaharlal Nehru University.
Excellent. I'll be there on Next week,
Yeah, I know about it.
I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll be interacting with, hopefully not only professors, but also
Yeah,
with
School of International Studies.
yes, thank you very much.
Rajeshwar Dubey from Jawaharlal Nehru.
Good evening, Ma'am Milan. Good evening, nice meeting you.
Samir Shivare from Kanpur, running a capital business.
Congratulations. Well, this is not necessarily young, but let's say experienced leader. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Mr. Milan. I'm Ankit Sachdeva. I am acquisition head for OfficeSpace.com, Gurgaon.
Milan, good evening. Milan, how can I meeting you? Milan, how can I meeting you?
My name is Gagandeep Singh.
You have to repeat it once again. Finally, I had to be patient, but now it's here. Please, if you can repeat once again.
Dobre Viker.
Oh. What is saying it in Czech? Namaskar. Namaskar. Good evening. Thank you very much for taking time. Milan, how can I meeting you? Nice meeting you. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shreya Pawar from Delhi University.
Milan, how
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Rajshri Mishra from Delhi University.
Milan, how nice meeting you?
Hello, I'm Pallavi from Delhi University.
Nice meeting you.
Good evening, sir. Lakumanji Taneja from Ansel University, final year law school.
Oh, great. Hi, Milan, how
Good evening, sir. I'm Vikas Sahora from Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. I'm a cybersecurity student, and I'll be looking forward to.
Very important domain.
Good evening, sir. I'm Deepshi and I'm a yoga teacher.
So once we finish here, we do have a yoga teacher here as well, so we can practice. Which part of South India? Tamil Nadu. Excellent. Good evening, Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, sir.
Milan, welcome. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. This is Partha Salvi doing post-graduation in cybersecurity.
Milan, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Cybersecurity student from University of
Cybersecurity. Milan, good evening.
Good evening. This is Malin Agrawal, and I am an MBA student from Indraprastha University.
Milan, good evening.
I'm from Sriram College of Commerce and I really want to enter your profession.
Oh, Milan, good evening.
Myself, Aditya Chakravarti. I'm from the Indian Institute of Technology Routine.
Important institution. Ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Pragya Quinn. I'm a lawyer and an author.
Congratulations, Milan,
I'm Kapil. I'm from University of Delhi.
Milan, Yes.
Hi, sir. I'm Malika from Sriram College of Commerce.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. I'm Mahim from IT University.
Milan, good evening. Did I met or not yet? Thank you very much.
I'm Priya from I'm studying law in IBM.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Now may I have the honor to invite Ambassador of Czech Republic, His Excellency Mr. Milan Hovorka, for the inaugural remarks.
Maybe I don't need mic.
Yes. Yes.
I will stand up so you can see me. I will speak up so that you can hear me. And I will try to be short so that you respect me, okay? Although I have to admit that with my family name, it is not easy. My family name is Hovorka. And I'm asking Mr. Tosh to explain or to try to translate what does it mean in English. Hovorka.
I would translate it as a very outspoken person.
Oh no. And someone who likes talking a lot. And people who tend to know me, they say, Milan, you should be proud of your name. But definitely they are not right. And my first name is Milan. This is not a typical Czech name, am I right? Yes. No, because I would say that it's an Indian name. Yes. You have so many Milans here, am I right? Yes. And I'm told that Milan means gathering, meeting people, And this is definitely what we had in mind when we met a couple of weeks ago, and when we agreed with this beautiful gentleman to have this meeting and the interaction. By the way, ask this gentleman what is his given name. Mr. Tosh, what is your given name?
I'm not sure if I would pronounce it correctly,
No family name, given name.
but it's Milan.
Milan. Milan. It must be strong and strange here at the embassy, am I right? And there is still one more Milan. He's also dealing with commercial issues. So you must have understood that to qualify to work at the embassy, one of the conditions sine qua non is to have a name starting with Milan. On more serious note, thank you very much to you all for your time and for the interest you have shown in the Czech Republic. And well, I also took time really to get acquainted with each of you so that I can first be closer to you, I can establish some sort of relationship with you, although visual. And at the same time, this is very good way to verify what we have heard, that young people from across the country came. And I definitely was able to detect colleagues and friends coming from Maharashtra, I heard Mumbai, definitely Tamil Nadu, and Lucknow, well, Andhra Pradesh, and definitely definitely Punjabi president. Talk about it. And this is exactly, the kind of interaction I believe we all diplomats like a lot. Because at first glance, well, definitely it may appear that it is about serious issues, that it is about high important strategic themes, and rightly so. And then, well, it may appear that it is about certain trade and investment issues, and again, I would have nothing against. But believe me, well, at least for me, I'm not a young leader. Well, I don't know whether I feel a kind of identity crisis, whether I'm a leader at all. But my way of approaching diplomacy, that it is primarily about the art of making friendships, and about the capacity to talk to people, and about the capacity to listen to what they tell you, and about the capacity to reflect of what people tell you in your own mind, and eventually be ready to adjust your approaches, your thinking. So this is, I believe, the most important, and this is also why I believe that the two countries, the Czech Republic and India, have been enjoying such a beautiful, thriving relationship. Because definitely in our relationships, it has never been about the size. On the one hand, 1.3 billion India. On the other hand, I need someone to help me. 10.5 million Czech Republic, centrally located in the heart of Europe. In our relationship, it has always been about mutual trust. It has always been about mutual respect for each other. And it has always been about certain fundamental values of freedom, respect for human rights, rule of law. And it has always been about our genuine effort to promote people-to-people contacts through travel, tourism, education, not to forget culture, definitely. And I tell you that all these mutual sympathies, complementarities between our two countries, and tremendous opportunities were present when your president, Honorable Ram Nath Kovind, was paying a state visit to the Czech Republic in September 20. Thank you very much. 2018, indeed. And as ambassador, I was privileged of accompanying him and spending most time during his stay in the Czech Republic. And I tell you, those 3 days will remain in my heart and in my mind. Why? Because they help us to take stock of where we stand on various issues. Definitely I started with political issues. And it has become evident that the Czech Republic and India are like-minded on a number of international issues, including climate change, fight against terrorism, and that the two countries are working hard on international arena to find appropriate solutions to these global challenges. And talking about fight against terrorism, I just advise you to look at what the President of the Czech Republic and the Prime Minister of the Czech Republic said or underlined in their reactions to Pulwama attack a couple of years ago. They not only condemned in most strongest terms these barbaric attacks, they not only extended their condolences to families of victims and wished early recovery to those who had been injured, but they made it also crystal clear that the Czech Republic stands by India's side in fight against terrorism in all its forms. And these are very strong moments which clearly testifies to the quality of our relationship. Then, definitely, we could analyze the breadth of our trade and investment relations. And here I have to say that, in particular, our bilateral trade reports very good performance. I believe Milan 2 will a bit talk about in more details about our trade and economic relations. I will only say that, and you will appreciate it, it is a two-way avenue. It is a two-way avenue in which both countries benefit from their traditional major strengths, comparative advantages, but at the same time increased involvement in so-called global value chains. And you should be reassured that we don't import from India just tea, coffee,
or raw materials. We import from India cars, despite the fact that the Czech Republic is one of world leaders. And we produce, in fact, 1.3 million passenger cars a year. But we do have a number of investors in the country. We do have a number of Indian investors. And being in the Czech Republic, if you are capable of entering the market and developing the business, your business there, then it's no longer just about 10 million market. It is about 500 million market. As you know, the Czech Republic is member of the European Union, and together with still 27, it may change very soon, as you know, but for the time being, with the 27 member states, we apply the same set of rules. Milan will talk about investors, Czech companies here in India. He will elaborate a bit on those Indian giants which have taken a wise decision to establish a long-term commercial presence in the Czech Republic. I will only limit myself to what I believe is of paramount importance, and it is substantially increased interest of small and medium-sized enterprises. And this, for me, is extremely important message. We have been supporting SMEs on both sides, and I have to tell you that this group of companies has emerged as a new driving force of bilateral economic relations between the Czech. So this is no longer just about big companies, big multinational companies. Today, even in relations between countries which are not necessarily neighbors, you can present yourself, tell people something about yourself, and still be successful. And in particular, if you have someone who can eventually guide you, who can eventually provide some sort of assistance, and this is what the embassy, the Czech embassy, has been doing here in India. For example, I haven't heard, is here someone from Karnataka? Bangalore is absent, doesn't matter. We do have something, we call it business incubator. Am I right, Milan? Is it?
So he's from,
Czech?
from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Czech business incubator, and here the idea is to create a platform, informal platform, and we invite young leaders, young Czech leaders, or small and medium-sized enterprises to come, stay with us for a couple of days, weeks, or months, and use the networking system, and on this basis try to find new partners, in this particular case in the state of Karnataka. And then definitely it was, and I mentioned it, and as you must have understood, that this is very high on the embassy's agenda. This is very high, or clearly one of my personal priorities here, and it is people-to-people contacts. When I came to India, and please, this is not, I'm saying when I came in India, please, I don't want to be misunderstood. Whatever I'm saying, it is a teamwork. It is a teamwork of all colleagues of mine here in the embassy working hard, day and night. But the reality is that nearly 4 years ago, the only place where to apply for short-term visa to visit the Czech Republic was the capital city of New Delhi. Today, we do have 17 visa application centers across India. She's still there. Colleague of ours from Punjab. Punjab, we do have 2 visa application centers, one in Chandigarh, and the other one. It's always good to have someone who can whisper and tell you, definitely in Jalandhar. And these 2, and not only these 2, all remaining 15, I open in person. You are right, but I have to finally, slightly, something important happened in Chennai only recently. You are right. Talking about visa application centers, Chennai was number 3, and I opened visa application center in Chennai. It was in July 2016. I remember it very well because I woke up early in the morning. First I went to Chennai. I opened visa application center in Chennai. Then I had a press conference there. Then I rushed to the airport to catch the plane, and I did the same in Hyderabad in the same day. And you know why we have been taking such an aggressive campaign? Simply because to let people know here at my level that we care, that we value well and appreciate each and everyone's willingness to invest money and spend time to come and visit us in Europe, get acquainted with our history. And I tell you, 3-4 years ago, we were privileged of welcoming 30,000 Indians in the Czech Republic. 30,000 in 2015. You know how many Indian visitors came to see us in the Czech Republic in 2018? 70,000 it was sometimes in 2016. In 2017 it was 85,000. And in 2018 nearly 100,000 Indians who spent in the Czech Republic 3 days and a half in average. So imagine, isn't it fantastic? It is. And I tell you, when accompanying your Honorable President, one of the places they visited was Charles Bridge. I don't know, and I will ask you whether someone attending this tonight has ever opportunity to visit us or visit the Czech Republic. More!
Last year, I was one of the 100,000.
Thank you very much. And it was for the ambassador, the best imaginable scenario. When we are approaching, when we are coming to the place, definitely as always at the beginning of September, Charles Bridge was crowded. So many people visiting the place. The founding stone of the Charles Bridge, imagine that, was laid down more than 700 years ago. And I'm visiting this place and getting off our limousine. I was so pleased to see so many Indians there. And they were questioning themselves, it is our president. What is he doing here? And then, instead of 10 minutes as originally planned, the visit took us more than 30 minutes. And it was a very touching moment. As was it at the Charles University. The same day, earlier in the morning, when your president interacted with the young Czech Indologist. Imagine that in 10 million nation, you have so many young people who are keen to study modern Indian languages, Hindi, Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, and Sanskrit. These young people interacted with Honorable President, and again, it was a very fine moment for all of us. And I'm mentioning it again to recall very strong bonds of our relationship. And hearing that we do have here also colleagues and friends from New Delhi University. You know that I am there relatively often. We have been able to establish a close relationship with the New Delhi University. You know why? So I want to hear from the New Delhi University guys. So why? Because we do have a program there. We do have a program there, and we do have a beautiful lady who gives lessons of Czech language. So imagine that here in India, you have too many who are keen to learn a language of a 10 million friendly country in the half of Europe. I am afraid we are running short of time. Did I promise to be short tonight or not? Did I make a commitment? I have to deliver. But definitely I will give opportunity to colleagues of mine to tell you also something, and then definitely to allow some time for QR period, which is very important, I believe. On Friday evening, we have the same podium here, but the banner was different. And we interacted on very specific subjects, like butterflies, hot moths. Imagine that. Why? Because there are beautiful people in the Czech Republic who have tied up even with more beautiful people in the state of Karnataka. And they joined together, they joined efforts together, and they produced a beautiful book portraying and mapping this special specimen, you know. So it was a beautiful moment, and again I am just mentioning you just an example. Of so many faces the two-country relationship does that. Tonight we are interacting with young leaders here. Later in the evening, we will be screening a film with Mr. Masaryk. Romane is not here. Hopefully he has invited you all to stay with us after high tea. It's a nice film. It is a nice movie. We organize a film festival. And this time we join efforts with other countries of so-called Visegrad 4 group. These are all Central European countries: Czechia, Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland. So if you can stay a bit longer, it would be great. On Saturday, we had here people from the Charles University. earlier this morning, I interacted yet with another group representing Czech, one particular Czech university. And it was about university to university cooperation. And in the meantime, we talk business. By the way, he's traveling next week to Prague. We organized a business trip of potential clients, Indian clients. People will be focusing on food processing industry. So again, yet another example of what we have been doing and what we have been trying to achieve. And definitely we are on Facebook. Have you been following? Yes? Thank you very much. And if yes, because definitely for us it helps us a lot to tell others about our objectives, what we try to achieve, and we are extremely happy to see that we have more and more followers. Definitely we are open also to any discussion. From time to time we have to deal with some criticism. We may eventually come back to it when we discuss some practical aspects of our relationships regarding visa and visa issues. But again, you know, the most important in any sort of relationship is if you can address subjects, or not only subjects, that please you, but if you are capable of discussing also issues in which you may differ, and definitely through dialogue, to see what you can do together with your partner with a view to narrowing the gaps. So I will maybe stop here. If I were a bit longer, please accept my apologies. Well, the theme is so interesting, you know, and I would have loved to keep talking, and definitely do it in a more systemic and organized manner. But hopefully I will have another opportunity to interact with you in a QR period. And in the meantime, thank you very much once again, and welcome. Thank you for your time.
As rightly said by His Excellency, if you have inquiries, any questions to ask, in the hour of Q&A, you may ask. Thank you, Excellency, for your warm and positive remarks. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the technical session. The agenda for the technical session is Indo-Czech Republic Development Partnership. So we'll have a technical session now. Agenda is Indo-Czech Republic Development Partnership. Yes, that's Now let's invite senior diplomats from the Czech Embassy for a brainstorming session on bilateral cooperation, education and development partnership. Madam.
Hello, good evening. Obviously, I will need a mic. I'm not an outspoken person as the ambassador. So I'm just here to bring you a brief information about the study in the Czech Republic and the education system which we are following in the Czech Republic. So, have you ever heard about any university from Czech Republic? Very nice. So, what do you know about the university? Sorry?
Second oldest university.
Second?
Oldest university.
Where?
In Europe.
In which part of Europe? Exactly. That's the first. That's the oldest.
Yeah.
So we are very proud that it's in the Czech Republic, and we as the embassy, we always encourage the students from India to go there to see the beautiful buildings which are owned by the Charles University, not only in Prague, but also out of the Prague. and just to feel the history, just to feel that. It's something amazing. So, what study you think is possible to study there in this Charles University? Or what kind of study? Culture. Exactly.
Languages.
Exactly. As Mr. Ambassador just mentioned, so the Indian languages can be studied there also. So there's a kind of same thing which we are doing with India. And we are always happy to see many young Czech students from Charles University coming here and speaking Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, and are able to read the old Vedas or these kind of books in Sanskrit. So, have you ever heard about the study in India? The initiative which is running by the government? You heard. So we have something similar, which is a study in the Czech Republic. This is the initiative of the Center for International Cooperation in Education, and it's run by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. So if you just go to these www.studyin.cz, you can find every university offering a study in English. I'm proud to say that it's more than 68 universities offering the study in English. And some facts about the Czech Republic. Don't look at it. That was too early. Don't look at it. Look at me and tell me what is the population of the Czech Republic. Okay. Okay. And if we go back, so there is the map. The red point is the Czech Republic. Now you can read that we are having the neighboring countries, Germany, Poland, Austria, Slovakia. Are you able just to recognize where is Germany?
On the left.
On the left.
Yeah.
On the north?
North is Poland.
Poland, exactly. On the east? Slovakia. What is Czechoslovakia then?
Former republic, which is
Right. And on the south?
Austria.
Austria, yeah. As you know, we are having actually the same history with these like three countries like Czech, Slovak, and Austria. In the past, before we were the Austro-Austrian monarchy. Okay, so we have 12 UNESCO protected heritage sites. So it's another point why you should go to the Czech Republic, because I can see that so many young viewers. I believe that all of you would like to have a very quality education, which we offer. But the study life, it's not only about the studying, sitting in the school, reading, and just be inside of the building. You must go outside and see our beautiful park. Okay, so we as a Czech, we believe that the study is a cornerstone for our further career. So we start studying when we are 6, then we finish like the 12th class, similar to you have, when we are 18, and then we may go to the university. And first we must finish like bachelor study, which is for 3 years, and then if we would like to study more, like further study, then we have to go for the master, which is for another 2 years. So I hope that at least some of you, at least one, is interested in studying in the Czech Republic, and they will go there and just really enjoy the marvelous people we have, and at the time of my colleague. And he will play some of the movies.
But before we do that, can you just tell our friends here how many Indian students
Yeah.
we do have in the Czech Republic now?
No. Oh, come on. It was when we came. 250. Now it's 219, so 218. How many?
1800? 1800?
800. More than 800.
Okay, 800.
Just a fair number.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it's also important to say that, well, we offer primarily world-class skills, but for reasonable money. And if you check, well, this study in the Czech Republic program, it will not take you more than 1 minute. And you can find out all the details you need to be able to start communicating with various universities or high schools. So I would really advise you to do that. And this, if there is still any question that you may have, then Ms. Melikova will always be at your disposal, and she will be ready to respond to any question you may have.
Okay, so thank you for the attention.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam. Now let's invite senior diplomats from Czech Embassy for a brainstorming session on economic relations, that is trade, investment, and tourism opportunities.
Thank you. I was just waiting whether you will see the video about marvelous people, but never mind, there are so many marvelous people in this room that we don't need to see any video. So, I'm Milan Toš, I'm Commercial Economic Counsel at this embassy, so as you may expect, I will try to speak about trade, economy, investment. I try to make my presentation short, which will be difficult because I have so many slides over there to test for you. But I will try, and I try to make it also interesting. This is a very short introduction to the Czech economy. You see the basic economic data. There are 3 numbers, and I would say that they symbolize mostly progress and dynamism of the Czech economy. That's the first number. 3% is the growth of the real GDP during the last year, 2018. And this number may sound small if we are in India and we see how fast is Indian economy growing during the past years. But we have to consider that we are in Europe. We are a high-income economy already, so these economies don't grow so fast. Second number, inflation rate. Inflation rate is also rather small, so it is small also comparing to India, and it symbolizes stability. Czech economy over the past years was very much characterized by stability, and unemployment rate is also rather small, and this reflects that the capacities of the Czech companies and of the Czech economy are very close to their maximum potential.
Could you mention the figure regarding the level of unemployment? Probably not all could see that figure. So 3.1%, technically speaking, some of you are economists, is 0. Technically speaking, it's 0. And Milan is absolutely right to say that we are desperately lacking labor force, and we may eventually come back to that issue at the next stage of our discussion. But I wanted to highlight really a particular element: the country in the heart of Europe with one of the smallest level of unemployment.
That's correct. It's one of the really lowest unemployment rates in the whole Europe. Let's go to another slide. You see in the first row the GDP growth, the real GDP growth during the past 4 years. It was pretty fast. Some years were faster, some years were a little bit slower, but still the line below the general government debt towards the GDP ratio, you can see that how fast the economy was growing, that fast the GDP, that fast the public debt GDP ratio was declining. So we started in 2015 with the public debt around 40% of the GDP, and now we are at around 34.7% of the GDP, so it's more than 5 percentage points lower than in 2015. If you look at the line below again, it's very interesting. The average inflation rate in 2015 is nearly zero. So I would like to ask also some questions here. So what do you think about inflation? Is it good or bad? Sorry? It's not good. And why?
Because somehow it affects the demand, that there is no demand in the economy.
Very good, very good. And also this was then the reason why the Czech Central Bank, after putting down the reference interest rate, was choosing another way how to little bit encourage inflation. And that was the intervention on the forex exchange market. And you can see also that in the presentation that we started with the exchange rate in 2015-16. The euro was more than 27 crowns for 1 euro. And after the intervention stopped, which was in 2017, the exchange rate was again coming down in the sense that the Czech crown was appreciating. Let's go to another slide, please.
Here you could eventually explain. France, the Czech Republic, is member of the European Union, but it is not a member of the Eurozone. We do have still our own national currency, which is Czech crown.
That gives us certain flexibility. So the Czech National Bank was able to influence the exchange rate. This is very popular, I think, ranking in India in the past years. It's the ease of doing business. We saw that India was doing very well during the past years. Since we are here, India was performing very well. India was coming to, and I will again ask, so which position is now India? 77, that's the correct answer. 77. Czech Republic, you see, it's 35. This is the rank. And Germany is 24, for instance, Slovakia 42, Italy, Hungary 51, 53. So this is the comparison. We can go again. Go ahead. Yeah. So this is to explain that the ease of doing business is pretty good in the Czech Republic. His Excellency Ambassador was already mentioning that that I will be also speaking about bilateral trade. Bilateral trade is growing, as you can see in all these graphs. Basically, there is only one exception between 2014 and 2015, but we can again a little bit attribute this to the intervention in the forex exchange market, because when the Czech crown was depreciating against the US dollar, it was also affecting the US dollar denomination of the export. Yeah? But nevertheless, you see India is ranking always among 30 most important partners for the Czech Republic in the world. And in Asia, India is always among 5 most important. We go to some industry sectors which are, first of all, important for the Czech economy. And I would say that if we don't speak about, if we speak about the sectors, there is no other sector more important for the Czech industry, is the automotive industry. Czechia is among the 15 largest global passenger car producers. You can see that around 20% of the industry is produced, the value is produced in the automotive industry, and also around 20% of the total export of the Czech Republic is produced in the automotive industry. His Excellency already mentioned in 2018, this is the figure 1.47 million passenger cars are produced in the Czech Republic. This is the most representative company, not only for the Czech automotive industry. Škoda Autocars, Škoda Auto is also the most significant investor among the Czech investors in India. They have factories, and I will ask the question, where do they have the factories? Škoda Cars, does anybody know? Škoda Auto? Which place in India they have a factory?
Is it Chennai?
No,
It is in Maharashtra. Two places.
And now it will be two places actually, yeah. And there are already places you can consider the production of the car. So, anybody? What are the most important places in Maharashtra? Pune and Aurangabad. Very good. Very good. So Škoda Auto, aviation, very important sector. I want to also show that the Czech industry is very advanced industry. We are producing airplanes, and this is one example of an airplane produced in the Czech Republic. It's L410. It's a 19-seater plane which was introduced successfully in Nepal and Bangladesh, and we hope that it can be also very good for remote connectivity in India. Please go ahead. Aviation, one more of the good examples of aviation is the activity of Eldis radar systems. Eldis company is supplied to India over the past years many radars, and now if you are flying in India, you may say that most probably you are flying under the control of Eldis radar, because they cover now 80% of the airspace in India. Defense, this is also a quite important part of our cooperation. I will only say that Tatra Trucks is a long-time supplier of the defense forces. These trucks are very important for the Indian defense forces, and Tatra Trucks is cooperating with EEML, Indian company, so it's also a very nice example of Make in India. This is more relaxing industry, I would say. This is a food processing industry slide, and it shows our tradition, what we are very proud of. We are very proud of our beer, Czech beer. This is our brand, I would say. You may know that Pilsner Urquell. Where is Pilsner Urquell from? From the Czech Republic. From the city of Pilsen, and Pilsner is actually the name for all the white lagers, and it's because the first white lager was produced there in the Czech Republic. This is again very traditional industry in the Czech Republic. I should write there also Bohemia Crystal. I think you may know Bohemia Crystal is again famous brand we are proud of, and you see over there when you will be traveling in Mumbai, and you will notice these very nice flower shaped lamps which are in the international airport in Mumbai. They are produced by Preciosa company, and they are produced in the Czech Republic. Engineering is very connected to automotive industry, and it's an industry which we are again very much proud of. There was a long-term cooperation between India and Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia. This is actually one example of this kind of cooperation between India and Czechoslovakia, now Czech Republic. This is a picture from HEC Ranchi. You might not know, but you may know also those who may be from Ranchi. Ranchi HEC is produced or was built with a big engagement of Czechoslovak engineering company. So vast part of the plant there was supplied by Czech machinery, and it is still there. We are talking to HEC about the reconstruction and modernization of the plant. So this is actually one part of the dialogue between Czech Republic and India. It's institutional dialogue running between the ministries. On the one side is the Ministry of Heavy Industry, and on the other one is the Ministry of Industry and Tech. Please go ahead. Okay, so this is a collection of most important companies. I mentioned already Škoda, very important investor, Czech investor in India is Home Credit. They are now also the largest employer among the Czech investors in India. They employ more than 17,000 employees in India. They have call centers, they have selling points, and they provide consumer credit. Another important okay, so Bonatrans, the producer of the wheel sets, is also having a factory in Aurangabad. So there are many companies you can see. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. From the food processing side, I would mention Chemoproject company. They are actually our partner in next week business mission which we organize from India. They set up a joint venture in Chennai, actually. That is Chennai to be mentioned here. And they are offering here engineering services, and they already have a contract to produce a brewery. So, go ahead. And these are investors from India which came to Czech Republic. You see them there, known brands, Infosys, Cognizant are representing the IT sector. If you look at the food sector, there is Tata Global Beverages. They are producing tea in Czech Republic. There is Cafe Coffee Day, very interesting also investor. It's a very nice investor, I would say also. I like Cafe Coffee Day in India. And Zomato, it's partly food, partly IT. Then there are many representatives of the automotive sector. Recall is there, Samavardhana. Motherson is from the automotive. Apax, Corsys, again, this is automotive. And then there is the traditional one, is textile, Alok Industries, and traditional are also kind of pharmaceutical and chemical industries. Canoria is there, and Glenmark. So I think we move to the last. Thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to also reply to your questions if you have them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let's move on to the interaction between senior diplomats from the Czech Embassy and youth delegates. In this session, the diplomats would like to answer 7 to 8 questions from the delegates. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. Yes, sir. So can we, the Starship, could you please give us mic? Now, could you please stand up? And if you okay without mic? All right, that would be great.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing so much of information with us. But being into education sector and being a professor, I would be really glad to know if you have any opportunities for people like us, if we can share our knowledge in your country as well.
We have this opportunity. We of course support. So the government of the Czech Republic always supports the mobility of the lecturer. So if you said that you are the professor, then obviously you may go to the Czech Republic and for short periods as well as for the, let's say, like longer one, so 1 semester, 2 terms, whatever you decide. And for that we have the Erasmus Plus or Erasmus Mobility. So you may
gentlemen. Yeah, thanks a lot for the session. And I just completed my post-graduation. And I believe that I'm exploring opportunity for my doctoral program, and I recently went to Prague also. So I just want to understand, is there any opportunity as a part of Casden Young, something short of summer school, so that people are aspiring for education can get some first-hand experience before applying?
Yes, again, it's possible, but for that, I encourage you to go to the studying.cz, and you can find there the information, because every single university is actually independent, and they offer, in these universities, they may offer the summer school. I know that some of the universities are offering, for example, the Mendel. I don't know what is your actually field of study. What did you study?
Business science.
Okay, so I believe the Mendel University is offering a summer school. They are within cooperation with some other Indian universities here. So just go to study in and you will find it. But it's possible.
Thank you.
What I would suggest, it's very easy. This is web page of the Czech embassy here. Here you just click. You can get the introduction. You do 2 or 3 more clicks, and you will get the answer to your question, depending very much on your preference, the fields of your interest. And then still, if you have any other question, don't hesitate and contact Eva. But please do your homework and do try to get acquainted, based on your preference, knowledge and what you are looking for. Okay? Thank you very much.
The girl in the second row.
Good evening, sir. So, sir, I have a suggestion that we could have friendly sports matches between India and Czech Republic in order to increase the youth-to-youth connect, because sports connects people, and in Czech, the most popular sport is football. And in India also, football is gaining momentum. So we could have friendly sports matches between the countries, and even cricket is there. So, in a way. Also, the Czech football, female football team is not there in the FIFA. It's trying to make its place in the FIFA World Cup and the Women's Euro. So the Indian teams and the Czech teams can collaborate.
Maybe I will take this one. To be honest, one of the first functions shortly after assuming my new duties here in New Delhi. It was in September 2015 when the Czech Davis Cup team was taking India. Some of you may remember, because it was a very tough game. Finally, we were more successful. But I tell you honestly, we approached you exactly from that angle. You also alluded in your question from the point of view of from big opportunities that sport can offer to promote bilateral relations between the countries' friendships. As long as it is not cricket, let's do it. And I also promise you that we will not be inviting you to play ice hockey with us. But even, and you will not believe, even in ice hockey, there is a famous Dominik Hašek, who is one of the icons of Czech ice hockey. He has spent so many years in American NHL. And imagine that this personality came to India 2 or 3 months ago to help young lovers of ice hockey to improve their performance. And he traveled, he was in Ladakh. So I'm just mentioning it to you that definitely there is scope. If organizers are ready, we can eventually start something, or we can eventually do something here at the embassy. We can play tennis here. We can eventually play volleyball. So if young leaders are interested in, if you are serious, let's put it together. And definitely, on more serious note, we will try to promote relationship between our two great countries in the area of sports. And in the meantime, let's try to do something together. And we do have a couple of examples that it is doable and that it can be done. By the way, even in this, I don't know, it is not necessarily a sport. Yoga, Ayush, we practice. I think we do have a teacher of yoga here. We practice it here, not necessarily the ambassadors. But the program we do have for ladies twice a week. In fact, tomorrow, and then on Thursday. So there is a lot that can be done in this particular domain. So, and if I have any specific agenda, you coming from the floor, I would be more than willing to take it on board and see how far we can take it forward. Thank you very much.
Just to add to what His Excellency was saying, from CYL's end as well, we are planning to send a youth delegation to Czech Republic and hosting one from Czech Republic in India.
Excellent.
We'll
I have a
take
question
few
here.
questions.
Can I take one?
So from young people first.
Okay.
Yes, in the second row.
Thank you, sir. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm qualified from the ICSU Chartered Accountants of India. Recently, I heard about that there is an MOU signed between the Europe and the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants. Is this right? ICA and the ICA.
You got the answer. If you have any other question, please. And definitely we will come back to you. This is a very fine question. Apparently there must have been something signed, but I think that we need more time, and we will be coming back to you with more detail. Thank you.
Thank you. The lady is the second last row.
Hi, my name is Sumbul and I'm working for the Center for Civil Society, and the project I'm currently working on is precisely on ease of doing business for MSMEs. And I think the major policy link which we had was the policy, we repealed the policy on minimum capital requirement for small businesses. They were supposed to pay 1 lakh rupees to get registered, and we got that repealed. And currently, I think we are also working on ease of doing business for street vendors and for rickshaw pullers for opening a restaurant in Delhi. I want to know how can India and Czech maybe work together around, for ease of doing business for it.
Well, definitely, the first, what I would say, from the position of ambassador, I would say that it would be encouraging as a dialogue on best practices. Like what you mentioned is a way how to make the life, the entrepreneurship, and doing business for small and medium enterprises more easier. So this is what we can share. Like the discussion has been encouraged from the side of the embassy. We were very much in touch with the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Industries. We were actually also talking about the possibility of visits from India to the Czech Republic, and for sure that would be one way how to encourage the dialogue and how to help each other, sharing the best practices. And for sure, even for me, this would be a very interesting project which you mentioned. Maybe this would be something that could be inspiring somebody in the Czech Republic. So, yeah, I would be also interested to know more about it.
Thank you.
Okay, so please, if you can come, talk to us with your project. Definitely here in India, as in the Czech Republic, SMEs, it is the backbone of the economy. It may sound like a cliche, maybe a cliche, but it's a cliche which is worth of being repeated. And we have been doing really hard to promote SMEs cooperation
between our two grids. I mentioned business incubator in Bengaluru. We do have a number of business missions coming to India each and every year. So my humble request would be, please, if you go and also follow our Facebook. You may know Prime Minister Babish, he visited India earlier this year. He attended Vibrant Gujarat Summit, and then he traveled to Pune to open, on the one hand, new technology center of Skoda, 1 billion euro investment, which together with production facility will create 4 to 5,000 new direct jobs. But at the same time, he opened a new facility of a small, medium-sized enterprise of the Czech Republic, offering engineering coatings. So you see that really we try to go as wide as we can. We have on our side Association of Czech Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. They have been coming to India quite often. By the way, the president of the association was accompanying Prime Minister Babish on his visit to India earlier this year. Out of 80, around 20 to 30% of participants represented SME sector. Milan spoke about experience sharing. This is yet another important area. We can talk to each other. We can tell local authorities. We don't want to teach anyone. We can just tell people what do we in the Czech Republic to encourage young people to open its own business. What do we do to facilitate these people to run their business? And definitely we will have a couple of incentives and instruments at our disposal that we use. So definitely we will, and we have been doing it. We are at the same time encouraging authorities here in New Zealand. Please, please be ready and come to see us more often so that we can join efforts in increasing awareness of existing opportunities and at the same time promoting B2B contacts, because you're absolutely right. These young people, for them, it's maybe difficult to get appropriate information. For them, it may be difficult to find a good partner. For them, it may be difficult because they are at the very beginning of their business. It may be difficult to have access to finance, which is, I believe, critical to any business. So definitely, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that important question.
We'll just take the last few questions before we wrap up, because we have another few scheduled as well. All those who wish to ask, please raise your hands high up so that I can the second one.
Hello everyone. Last month you launched a consulate in Chennai as well, and yeah, that was in the Vira Center. So you launched a consulate in Chennai, and there you said that you want to build further, you want to strengthen ties with India. And you mentioned that you support our backing at the United Nations Security Council and NSG. But whereas, as you know that it's very important to us, the Belt and Road Initiative by China, the new Silk Road. And we want nations to support us on that because it is of strategic importance to us. But as you said that you want to build further relations, but whereas I read in the news that you have signed MOUs with China for the same initiative. So, and as you know that they move with the debt trap strategy, wherein they fund the developing countries and they work on the debt trap strategy. So, why was
so do we have time? Do we have 2 hours to explain you, to elaborate a bit? No, to be on more serious note, definitely we fully respect India's views regarding this particular initiative, and we also expect the same from our partners. The fact that we are having a thriving relationship does not necessarily mean that we have to agree to have an agreement on each and every element. Talking about, I'm not yet aware of any MOUs, but you are absolutely right to say that we do participate and we have taken active approach regarding this initiative. And believe me, whatever we do, we will always be mindful of what India thinks about the project and what are the red lines and what are Indian sensitivities regarding these issues. And we will always keep them in mind. But the truth is, Security Council, Nuclear Suppliers Group, we don't have so many local partners, you know. And this is one of so many areas in which we are like-minded, because it is about peaceful use of nuclear energy. India believes in the potential of that particular source of energy. And we, in the Czech Republic, we share this sentiment. You have your own nuclear program. And at the same time, you are both in building new installations. We do have also 6 units in the Czech Republic. And we will be building new facilities. And we have been able to generate public support for nuclear energy. You know why? Because we have always, as India, I believe, we have always been able to put safety and security issues very high on our agenda. Irrespective of any disasters, it has always been up, and we have always been applying the highest safety standards. And by the way, this is one of the areas in which I believe the Czech Republic and India could do more, substantially more.
Last 2 questions.
And I use writing and story.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Can you use the mic because this was
Closer to your mouth.
Ask Mr. Masari.
I'm Chitra. I'm a traveler and a writer. I've been living on road for last 1.52 years, and I love writing or stories to diffuse boundaries of colors, creeds, of countries, or of culture. So I want to know if there is any way Czech Republic and India can introduce these travelers in between to diffuse these boundaries. Because tourism is a way that we can later know your culture into each other and we can diversify.
I'm afraid I was not able to. Could you repeat again the essence of the question?
If you can just don't lose the mic. It's okay. You can be a bit more loud.
Eventually I can go closer to you. But if there is any area where we have to improve our performance, definitely we need to have better technology here. Well, maybe more performant mics.
My question is, I write to diffuse boundaries. So is there any way that India and Czech Republic can introduce travelers or writers like me to diffuse these boundaries of culture? Like from India, very less people travel to Czech, and from Czech, very less people travel to India as compared to US citizens or Israelis. But Israeli people, they
You just fill the form, apply for visa, and you go. It's all the best. You are a young person, young people. You are full of energy, full of dreams, full of aspirations. It can be easily done. And definitely, if you take a decision, please, it is, I believe, April 12th, if you can leave your contact point in this particular room, we will be organizing a meeting with tour operators. We may be inviting you. We will be addressing the subject, but definitely we need people like you. But for us, this is not just one-shot operation. It is a day-to-day business. Whatever, even through this exercise, through this interaction, we are trying to build bridges. If there is any difference, misconception, misunderstanding, we want to dispel it. But at the same time, and this is about young leaders,
don't wait and don't expect too much from any civil servant. Just take the initiative. I believe this is the most important. Be as ambitious as you can. And please be ready to work hard to transform this ambition into something very specific. And it is worth of effort, believe me. So please, definitely, writer, traveler, beautiful lady, let's do it together. And definitely, if you can help us to share the story about this event, what we have been talking about, I'll be also this.
I missed half of it because they were not allowing. But
Sorry?
I missed half of the event because they were not allowing.
No, but the event was supposed to start at 5 o'clock. By the way.
I was there at 3 o'clock only.
No.
I came all the
But
way.
please, if there is anything you would like to please ask, talk to me. If there is any complaint, Mr. Matarik, who is my deputy. But if it is like, just so sorry for any inconvenience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for being with us.
We'll take one last question now. This question would be from. Yeah. Yes,
Excuse me. The AC is not working. It's getting hotter. The AC is not working. It's getting very hot.
Hi, I'm Sambhav Kapoor, studying in University of Delhi. My question to you is that since Czech Republic has one of the world's best healthcare systems and best healthcare insurance companies, including the state-owned insurance companies, so India has just launched a flagship program, Ayushman Bharat, which is regarding the healthcare program for Indian poor citizens generally who are lying below the poverty line. So I would like to ask that as Czech Republic has taken initiative, because there's so much of exposure and even money for the Czech Republic companies to gain over here by sending in their health insurance companies. So are there any initiatives taken upon the same?
Why do you think that we have highly developed education system?
Healthcare. Healthcare.
Healthcare system. Well, next time I will try to entertain you better. No, to be honest, yes, you are absolutely right. And, this is one of major assets, that we have been able, despite all the changes. And that period, we started, by the way, this year we will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of so-called Velvet Revolution. It is November 1989, where people like you, young people, young leaders, young students took to the street, and thanks to them, Czechoslovakia was able to rejoin the family of pluralistic democracies. Thanks to them, we have been able to start working on a Salamon task of restoring the position of the then Czechoslovakia, today the Czech Republic and Slovakia, among most developed countries in the world, because before the Second World War, you may know, the then Czechoslovakia belonged to 10 mostly industrialized and highly developed. But something terrible then happened. By the way, well, only recently we marked a very sad of a moment of the history of our country when Nazis entered the then Czechoslovakia and occupied our country, and during that period too many people died. And after the Second World War, communists came to power, and even today's movie that we will be screening shortly at the Slovak embassy
takes us to this period shortly before the Velvet Revolution in '89. But coming back to your question, despite the fact that we have gone through all these changes, imagine 100% state-owned economy. It used to be 100% state-owned economy. Now it is 99% private sector-run economy. At that time, 85% of our trade was with the countries of Comecon. Today, 85% of our trade is with the European Union. But we have been able to maintain high quality of our healthcare system. We do have a number of companies in this sector which distinguish themselves for high level of protection, professionalism, leading edge technologies and capacity to execute fairly and well. To be honest, the question, and coming back to your question, we have not yet been able to take it forward, despite the fact that 2 years ago we had in India a high-level visit led by the then Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of the Czech Republic. Today, he is in fact the Speaker of the Parliament of the Czech Republic. He came here with the Healthcare Committee of the Czech Parliament, and our MPs interacted with local Indian partners with a view to exploring possibilities, what more we can do together. So far, I tell you honestly, we have not been able to take it forward. We are taking tremendous strides to increase awareness of the program, but at the same time, I'm telling you honestly again, we perceive it as a two-way avenue, because for us, your so-called traditional medicine, it is also quite important source of inspiration for us. The way you are capable of combining these two, definitely it is something we are interested in. And I mentioned also well that we are desperately lacking professionals, in different sectors, and healthcare system is definitely among them. So I believe that there is a lot we can offer to each other, but I have to admit that this is an area yet to be explored. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency, for your words. Now it's the time for presentation of certificates of participation to the youth delegates. I request each one of you to come one by one and receive your certificate from the senior diplomats and esteemed guests from Confederation of Young Leaders.